Okay, starting off our stat unit with measures of central tendency. All right, measures of central tendency. So what this means is all the measures that find the middle, and I'll use middle in quotes there, of our data. So our measures of central tendency, and you've worked with these for years, are mean, median, and mode. Mean is what we refer to as the average. Okay, you take the sum of the numbers and you divide it by the number of data points that are there. So number of data. Right, so that's how we find mean. Median, we're going to skip over that one for just a second, a little bit more difficult to describe, but mode. So with mode, you find the number that occurs most often. Okay, if it occurs the most, then it's the mode. And then median. Median, the first step is to put the numbers in order from least all the way up to the greatest. Okay, once we order them from least to greatest, the next thing we do is we pick the middle number. Okay, and I'll explain exactly what that means after I give you a good data set. Okay, and then we'll kind of talk about some different things that affect our data. So our first example. So let's say that's our data set. So the first thing we're going to do is find the mean. Okay, so we're going to add all of our numbers up, and you're going to divide it by the number of data points. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. N equals 7. N is always going to be the number of data points that we have. So for this problem, N equals 7. So add all your numbers up. 1 plus 12, 7, 3, 2. So we get 36. So it's 36 divided by 7. That gives us a mean of 5.14. Okay, so that's the mean of our data. Median. Median is one where you have to put them in order. So what I'm going to do is cross them off as I use them. 1, and then I have a 2. Cross off the 2. You have 2 3s, so 3, 3, and then 7, 8, 12. One important thing with the median, you need to make sure that all your numbers are here. So I had 7 numbers up here, so you need to count out and make sure that you have 7 numbers down here. All of them are accounted for, so I didn't actually miss one. My biggest mistake when doing median is I actually miss a number. So what you do is you pick the middle number. So some of you have seen the method of you cross off 1 from each side. Whatever's left over is your median. Okay, now what happens if there's 2 numbers in the middle? So let's say we cross all of our numbers and we end up with 41 and 43, and there's 2 middle numbers, so we really can't cross anything off. What you do in this case is find the mean or the average of it. 41 plus 43 divided by 2, which is going to give you 42. So if there's ever a case where you end up with 2 middle numbers, just add them together and divide by 2. But in this case, it comes out to a nice clean number. So my median for this problem is 3. Mode, well, the number that occurs the most. 3's occur the most, so 3. So the mean for this problem set is 5.14, median is 3, mode is 3. Now, what I'm going to need you to do is find the measure of central tendency for this data set. All right, so on your own, find the mean, median, and the mode. All right, so pause the video, work it out on your own for me. You can use a calculator if you would like. All right, hopefully you've done that. If not, again, hit the pause button. Do the work. Now, so for this data set, our mean turns out to be 55.17. okay? In this problem, n equals 6. And our median turns out to be 18.5. Whenever you look at this, you can see that as you cross it off, this is one of those ones where you end up with two middle numbers. Add them up, divide it by 2, you end up with a median of 18.5. Mode, a number that occurs the most. There's just not one in this data set. Nothing occurs the most. So I guess every number would be a mode, but in my case, I'm just going to say there's absolutely no mode. Now, here's something I want you to point out. I want you to think about this data set, and then what I want you to do is answer this question. Which measure is best? Okay, so pause the video for a second, look at your data, answer which one is best. Okay, so you've made a guess at this point, I hope, or let's see. Median is 18.5. Your mean is 55.17. So this being all my data up here, if I plotted on a number line, so that'd be like 10, 20, and then you'd have a huge separation all the way out here to 253. Okay? If you actually plot your data, 7's like right there, 14, 18, 19, 20, and then way out here is 253. All right, so which measure fits the best? Well, your median falls somewhere along the lines of there. Your mean is way out here. Which one is best in the middle of the data? Well, the median is your best measure of central tendency. And now the question is why? Well, why in the world is the median the best measure of central tendency? Or why does it fit the numbers that the mean simply doesn't? It's because of outliers. An outlier is a number that just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the rest of the data, okay? So in our case, 253 is an outlier. It doesn't fit the rest of the data, but the way that you calculate the mean, you have to take the value of each number into account. With the median, all you care about is its location. It's at the end. If I change this number to 21, that's not going to change my median, but it will change my mean drastically, okay? So your outliers affect your data. So here's a good rule to follow. If an outlier is present, use median for best measure. Okay, if there's not an outlier present, more than likely your mean and your median are going to be really close together either way, so it's really not going to matter. Sorry, no, you can't see all that. Hopefully you can. Maybe I slide it back and forth. But it's really not going to matter. Your mean and median are going to be pretty stinking close together. No outlier. Choose either one. Run with it. But if an outlier is present, that means you need to choose the median for the best measure of central tendency because the mean is affected by the outliers. All right, hopefully that's enough information on mean, median, and mode. What I need you to do is go into your problem set, and now you're doing numbers 1 through 3. Make sure you check the key afterwards.